What's up, guys? Good morning. It's Wednesday. Duke lost, so automatically in a good mood. Ravens Steelers on Sunday. Man, it's going to be a battle. It is going to be a battle. Going to talk about it here in a few minutes. But first, Duke doing Duke things. Duke cramping, blowing leads in the second half, being soft, having an annoying head coach. Yeah, just Duke. They really should have won yesterday, but they're having cramping issues, which is just hilarious to me. These young freshmen are just cramping up. Happened to Cooper Flagg the other night. The quote from Shire, the coach, who's one of my least favorite Duke players of all time, John Shire. God, I can't stand him. He goes after the game on Friday. We've got to help him. Shire said of Flagg, we've got to help him. I'm not happy about it. We'll stay up all night with the training staff if we have to. Bottom line, it just can't happen. And I'm like, what a joke. Just thinking about a late Friday night, all these little Duke private school training facility kids just figuring out how to keep Cooper Flagg from cramping just is funny to me. And then they play Kentucky yesterday and just dominate them in the first half. I think they got a 9-point lead. And just Kentucky doesn't have the horses. They hit a couple threes to keep them close. But if you're watching that first half, it's like, all right, Duke's way better than them. But two of their freshmen get cramps in the second half, so they can't finish the game. And then Cooper Flagg, he's really good. I mean, he's going to be really good. He is really good, but he screws it up at the end and turns the ball over, and then Kentucky wins. So Kentucky beats them, just awesome. And Duke is just a hot mess right now. I just find that to be funny. So I wish I would have bet Kentucky yesterday, but I didn't. Duke lost. College basketball is officially here. I'm excited to get really into it. Kansas beat Michigan State earlier in the night, and they're the number one ranked team in the country. A lot of great basketball. Looking forward to getting more and more into it here as the season goes on. In the NBA last night, this NBA Cup thing drives me crazy because the games are so good last night. It was the first night of this play or mid-season tournament, the Saudi Arabian Emirates mid-season. I mean, what are we doing? Side note, what are we doing? Just Oh Lord. Anyway, Saudi Arabia owns the rights now to this mid-season tournament. I say Saudi Arabia; it's their airlines, but it's basically, you know, the government run airline over there. So Saudi Arabia Emirates Championship, whatever you want to call it, was last night, and now all of a sudden the Hawks can beat Boston on the road, and the Warriors and the Mavericks play a classic game, and it just goes to show like the NBA's got to do something because as long as everybody's trying their hardest, games are fun to watch. And they're trying their hardest because now there's $1 million on the line for each player if they win. And that's a lot of money. Whether or not you're making a lot of money or not, it's still a lot of money, right? So that's why the intensity was so good last night. Hawks beat the Celtics on the road without Trae Young. I don't know. Go figure that one. And the Sixers. I'm going to talk about the Sixers for a second. Joel Embiid's not only my least favorite player that's in the NBA, but he's one of my least favorite athletes of all time. Nothing worse than watching him play. If you're rooting for the Sixers, if you're betting on the Sixers, oh my God! So he's on a minutes restriction last night. Plays his first game. Obviously, he can't finish the fourth quarter because he's just a soft individual. Just horrible. He's just horrible. All these jump shots. He's 7'2", shooting jump shots left and right. Sixers are a trash organization. This is what happens when you purposely lose and you think like you're going to get good karma somehow. The only thing they've ended up with by purposely losing for all these years is Joel Embiid. I would just trade him. I would have traded him last year. I would have traded him in the offseason. I would just get rid of him, get him out of there. Tyrese Maxey, who didn't play last night, is a really good basketball player. Now, I wouldn't want to contaminate him with Joel Embiid. And I'd get rid of Paul George. I mean, he's horrible to watch also. Talk about somebody that just pads their stats and can't be found in big moments. I watched a lot of that fourth quarter yesterday. It was 78-75 after the third quarter, Knicks Celtics. And it's just not competitive in the fourth quarter. They don't play good defense. Just a weak team, a weak organization. They seem to be falling apart at the seams there, the Sixers. The late game lived up to it. If you didn't watch it, I suggest go watch the fourth quarter in its entirety. If you don't want to watch the whole game, Warriors Mavericks last night. Clay comes back to Golden State. That was just great to watch. A lot of cool memories. Just a fun experience, really, if you think about the dynamics of being with the team for 13 years. So whatever, that's happening throughout the game. And Curry was pretty good. He was really good. And then he was just couldn't be found in the fourth quarter there until about 3 minutes left. And then what he did for those 3 minutes, I mean, he's done it a million times, but 36 years old now, um, just unbelievable shot making. The shot making is unreal. Kyrie made some really good shots earlier in the game too. Luka makes great shots, but Curry, it's just different. It's different. His game has evolved. I don't think I'm breaking any news here today, but his game has evolved more than any player I can ever remember. Like he was just JJ Redick, just a slightly darker skinned version of JJ Redick. That was just him. Just shoot threes, run off these screens, and he gets to the NBA, and his ball handling has become just as good as almost anybody in the league, like bar none. His ball handling is fantastic, and then his ability to create. He really didn't come in here as like an amazing passer, but if you just watch, they make every extra pass. Golden State's really fun to watch. Not a big fan of Steve Kerr. Not a big fan of anybody who thinks that they're better than other people because of the way they vote. That bothers me. So Steve Kerr bothers me. I think it's good. It's just bad leadership in general, the way he acts. But whatever. Besides that, he does coach basketball really well. They move the ball, they make the extra pass, and that's why they had to get rid of Klay Thompson. You saw it last night. Golden State, at the end of the game, they went with a defensive lineup. And that's what they couldn't do with Klay last year. Klay's just a little too slow, and you win with defense. Golden State was able, the shot making was crucial from Curry, but Green's defense on Gafford was a huge block. Wiggins played good defense. Warriors win. Warriors look really good without Klay. I wish I would have bet their over on the win total before the season because it feels like they're going to smash it. It's only 43 and a half, and they're out and running. So fun night in basketball yesterday. I just wish the league was constructed so we would get this kind of action all the time. And just the way it is just too many days off for these guys. It's a long season. I don't even really blame them. But now that there was money on the line last night, we got to see the intensity. Really good basketball. All right, a few minutes here on the Ravens Steelers because it's only Wednesday and there's a lot to get to. A lot can happen here before Sunday. But the biggest news and the best news for Ravens fans is Alex Highsmith, star outside linebacker, probably the best pass rusher on at least 10 teams in the NFL, maybe 15. But alongside TJ Watt, he is an absolute monster because he gets one-on-one coverage literally almost every single play. You can't double everybody, right? So he gets a lot of one-on-one opportunities. He's gone. He won't play this week. Steelers do get back second-year guy, I'm forgetting his name now, linebacker that was been hurt for a month. So he's coming back. So that's something. But, it's a big, big miss there by not having Alex Highsmith. Here's what I wanted to talk about today. I really just wanted to, I guess, nail down what I feel like the strategy should be for this game, what the mindset should be for this game, because it is a really, overwhelming or, shocking, whatever word you want to use, to see what the Steelers' record is against the Ravens lately. 7-1 in the past 8 games, 3-1 against Lamar in his career, the Steelers are. And they've won the last 3. Lamar beat him in 2019. They've lost the last 3. We lost last year in a fluky situation. Then we gave them the game at the end of the year so they could make the playoffs, which bothered me. Then they got their ass kicked in the playoffs, so that was fine. But, we looked slow against the Texans in the first half last year in the playoffs, and then we turned it on. So I didn't like the way they handled that regular season game. Whatever. Trenton Simpson was great. I remember that. But anyway, the Steelers have had our number. They're home now, and they're the home underdog. So they're going to try to be physical. I can almost guarantee you Pittsburgh's offense is going to be run the football, short, quick plays, and then a couple long balls from Wilson to Williams and Wilson to Pickens. But they're going to try to control that clock. They're going to hit the tight end a million times, Freiermuth over the middle. That's what I shouldn't say they're going to hit him. They're going to look for him a million times. What I'm really expecting here from the Ravens defense is what I thought I was going to get on Thursday. They just don't match up with Chase and the Bengals. This is the week that I expect the defense. This feels like we're going to keep Pittsburgh under 20 points because they're going to really try to run the football. Some teams go into this and they want to outscore Lamar. I don't think the Steelers are going to do that. I think Buffalo might try to do that. I think Kansas City and Pittsburgh more so with their coaching philosophy and their discipline, want to just keep the ball out of Lamar's hands. That's what the Chiefs did in the AFC Championship game. They run the ball a lot with Pacheco. They don't try to go 15, 20 yards down the field. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 yards here and there. That's what the Squealers are going to try to do this week. Whether or not we can stop them, I guess we'll find out. We haven't been able to do it all year. I'm not giving up on them at all. I think Kyle Hamilton has a monster game because he's going to be right in the box the whole time. Najee Harris is certainly not Derrick Henry, but they got Jalen Warren too. It's going to be a challenge. On the other side of the ball, because we know what the Steelers are going to do, and they're going to try to control that clock, the Ravens got to be careful that they don't fall into the same trap that they do when they play the Chiefs, which is, all right, if we're down 3-0, or if we're now, even against the Clowns, if we're down or we're not getting as many possessions as we would like to have, that does not mean we start throwing the ball all over the field. Minka Fitzpatrick, the same way Kyle Hamilton can ruin a game, Fitzpatrick can ruin a game. You've got to know where he is. You've got to keep an eye on him. Joey Porter, the corner for the Steelers, really good. Their secondary is solid. The way you beat Pittsburgh is you punch them right in the mouth. You run the ball 50 times. If you try to do the other stuff and you drop back and you let TJ Watt do his thing and you got the stupid towels flying and the crowd's loud, they could potentially get a strip sack. They could get that pressure on the tackles. That's how they want to play the game. The way to combat that is we're going to run that football, just pound it right at them. Don't even let them have a chance to establish the identity on defense that they want to. Run the ball right at him. This is a huge game for 42. If you listen to me enough, he's the key player for me on the Ravens offense is Patrick Ricard. Put him in the game, run behind him. Let's establish it. When you're on the road in a hostile environment, let's get the lead. And if we don't get the lead, let's just keep the game nice and tight until the fourth quarter. Don't if we end up in a situation that we were against Kansas City where Lamar's got to make a play at the end of the game, fine. Like if the defense isn't going to do their part, fine. Lamar can win in the fourth quarter. But I really think if they just come out and run the football, the defense is going to be so hyped for this game that they'll be able to keep Pittsburgh down. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Pittsburgh's going to struggle. I think they get not humiliated, but they get humbled. I think that they've feasted off of playing against some weaker defenses as of late, and they're going to run into an angry bunch of Ravens on the road. I got 20-10, 23-13, 27-17, a 2-score win for the Ravens. The Ravens being a class above where Pittsburgh is. The losses to Cleveland and the Raiders, this is the first time that it'll be beneficial in the sense that we've already lost, so we've already tasted it. It's easy for the coaching staff to yell at everybody and encourage them to finish and all those little coach speak things because we have lost. So there's not much benefit from losing to Cleveland and the Raiders in the scheme of things because now we can't get the 1 seed. It makes it harder, frankly, to get the 2 seed and to win the division. But the one benefit is they should be really sharp going into this game, knowing that, hey, we're much better than all these other teams, but if we don't play our game, we can get bit at the end. Pittsburgh's good. They're solid. They're better than the Raiders. They're better than the Browns, but they're not in the class of the Bills and the Chiefs. I don't even think they're really in the class of the Texans. When the Texans are healthy, they're a tier below. They're basically with the Chargers, where you don't really want to play them, but if you just don't turn the ball over, you'll beat them. You got better team, better players, better roster. So I got the Ravens this week. I'm really excited to watch this game. It should be awesome. Sunday afternoon, Ravens and the Steelers. What we got tonight? Just a lot more basketball. Tomorrow, we got the Thursday night football game. Got college football rolling. The Thursday night game tomorrow is going to be must-see TV. Whether or not I'm betting it, I haven't decided. But Washington at Philadelphia should be fascinating to watch. Looking forward to that. And I'll hop on here in the morning. But I guess my main takeaway from last night, if you like basketball, it was a really great night for basketball. Duke loses, that always makes me feel good. And so I shall see you guys in the morning. Talk Washington and Philly and anything else that's going on. See you guys. Have a great day. And see ya.